Hey everybody, hope all is well and welcome back to the ShabinLife. Alright, so it's been a really great week up here. I did a lot of videoing odds and ends, and to be honest, every time I do it, I seem to start it off like it's a brand new video, which always makes it really difficult to go back and edit. So I thought that instead of trying to piece something together, we'd do a rewind video and just go back maybe 5-6 days, and you can kind of see what got done over the course of a week. Other than mowing and weed whacking and just your normal odds and ends around the property, I was able to also throw in some new temporary front steps. I got tired of the cinder block, so I threw them in real quick. But like I said, we'll do like a little bit of a rewind video. And I think what I was able to accomplish this week was, or the things I videoed I should say, was the inverter, the crabapple tree trimming, the J-track installation, which I'm not sure if I videoed that. I'm sure you're tired of watching me just move the ladder around. I set the shower base. I was able to finish some of the insulation on the inside. Actually, the insulation on the inside of the house is finished, not only for the insulation inspection, but I was also decided to throw some R13 on some of the interior walls, so I was able to get that wrapped up as well. Was able to fix the John Deere mower, just a couple other odds and ends. So I'm not really sure what I got video of, but we'll go back and see how much we can capture. So here's going back to, let's say, the beginning of the week. Hey, what's happening, everybody? So was at home with my wife and my in-laws for a couple days, celebrating Coda's birthday and grabbing some materials. And then I came back up. I picked up a bunch of soffit material, some vinyl soffit material, and some J-track. It was an interesting trip. I thought probably of the 50 trips I've made up here with the craziest stuff strapped to my truck, that this would have been probably the easiest of all. And my ratchet strap snapped on a major highway. One box went flying off the back of my truck. Inside that box was not only the soffit material, but I had slid a 10-foot movie screen, retractable movie screen in there. Man, that thing flew out of the box and across the highway. Thank God that no one got hurt, no other cars were damaged. I wasn't hurt. The screen was trashed. Anyway, once I got up here, got settled, I did a little bit of lawn mowing, and to be brutally honest, it was crazy hot. I'm thinking 95 degrees, and I really didn't do much of anything after about 2 o'clock except for be completely lazy. I look something like this. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned in the last video, but the inverter took a poop-boo-ka-choo in the Shabin, so I'm going to get ready to go inside and get the old one taken off and the new one installed. This is the charge controller and the disconnects for the panels and for the batteries, and then down here is the battery box, the inverter. So the Krieger, or the Krieger, is what I'm going to take out right now. I know it's tough to see, but I'm going to disconnect the battery terminals from the inverter. Then I'm going to unscrew this, take this out, take the wires off the back of the inverter. And right now I'm running off this little guy, this little Ames right now. So I'm going to disconnect that as well. I'm just going to make a few modifications real fast to the box. Then I'm going to mount the new Ames to the top of the box. I'm going to get started, then I'll come back and show you guys, because I don't really think I can get the camera down there. So here we are a few minutes later, maybe about 15 minutes later, and basically I had shut off the panels first, which is great with these busman breakers. You can just basically push the trip and a little lever pops out, so you can use it as a disconnect switch. But disconnect the panels, then I disconnected the batteries, then I basically took out the old inverter from underneath this lid, and then mounted the new Ames one on top, tied everything back in, tied it back into the batteries, checked the water level on the batteries while I had everything open, plugged it back in, and now let's see if I can bring And with the Ames inverter right now at 121.3. So the great thing about the pure sine inverter is just the really nice steady 120. You know, the modified was fine, but even at square waves, it was only getting like at the most, I think I was like 118, you know, on like super powerful. But when the batteries were just totally charged, packed, ready to rock and roll, it still would be only sometimes 115, 116. So for non-sensitive electronics, I really didn't care. But for the computers and stuff like that, I would run the generator and just backfeed, you know, the Shabin and just use the generator to charge all that stuff. But with the pure sine now, I don't feel as hesitant to charge the computers with that inverter. So all done, ready to rock and roll. On to the next task. Here's the shower base. It's a 36 by 60 shower pan. So I've got to do a few things this morning. I want to cut the hole open a little bit bigger. I'm really close in regards to everything fitting well, but I want to give myself a little love for when the drain sits down there. I don't want it to get hung up on anything inside the I don't want it to get hung up on anything on the cement board or anything like that. But I also basically took the backside of the shower pan that has all the standoffs and I don't know, transferred them to the floor. And then that way when I mix up my my thin set bed, I know exactly where to lay it all down so that it's not inside those standoffs. But basically I'm going to, I also just want to make note that if you can see the bottoms of the 2x4s on some of these are a little, they've been sanded. And what I did basically was the shower was a really tight fit. So I went back and I actually hit this with a sander to give myself a little love just where the shower pan hits up against the studs. I didn't want to take off too much because obviously that's where the fiberglass lip is going to actually screw to. But after I got them sanded down, I dry fit the shower pan probably 3 or 4 times. It's not exactly the easiest thing to set down, but I dry fit it. And then after I got everything how I wanted it, I leveled out the actual pan, and then I went back and made my marks across my studs as to where everything is level. That way, once I put down the bed of thin set and I put the shower pan down, I can line everything back up and then drill some holes, screw it in, and make sure that everything's nice and level. The idea now is I'm going to go back and cut the square out a little bit bigger, so I'm going to have to cut the cement board off and then cut the subfloor up, which is no big deal. And then once I get that done, I'll do the drain assembly, then I'll mix up the thin set, and then we'll start getting everything set in place. All right, so I pretty much have everything ready for the shower base. I have gone back, cut the hole open a little bit bigger. I did videotape me dry fitting it. Everything seats really well, and there's just enough, about 3/4 of an inch of the shower drain to slip onto that pipe down there. So I don't really feel like cutting this pipe off and then pushing it in from the bottom and adding a coupling. I'm hoping that, again, everything stays the way it should and fits well so that this all stays one connected unit. Again, the circles are where the standoffs on the bottom of the shower base are going to go. The squiggly lines are where I'm going to set some of the thin set. I'm going to go mix some concrete up, come back, get it all set up here, and get this base put in place. Once I get it in place, I'll get out all the corners pressed down. I'll drill through the fiberglass real carefully, and then I'm going to send some panhead screws into the studs. And then once that's all done, I'm going to set a board on there and a couple cinder blocks to keep pressure on the shower base so that it sets up really well. But I'm going to go outside, get mixing, and then we'll get to rocking and rolling. Alright guys, so the shower base is in and set, and the plumbing underneath in the crawl space is all finished up. I did not have to cut the 2-inch pipe. Everything worked out nice. But that's it. And then what I'll do is I'm going to come back, and I think I'm going to insulate a couple of these bays coming in. I'm going to do that almost on every wall. And once I get the insulation kind of set in, I'll start, putting up some, backer board and, kind of making the bathroom start to look like something. But all is good with the base, at least for now. We'll see what it likes when there's water running down it. But I think I'm going to take a break and go hang out for a little bit. I did a lot of running around this morning, picking up some ice, and I went out and grabbed, I can't see it, but there's some insulation in my truck to finish up some of the spots and some R13 for some of the interior walls. So yeah, just a little bit here and there, and like I said, fingers crossed that the roof gets started tomorrow. I'm not trying to get too knee deep into anything until that roof starts to get put on. That's including the soffit and all that kind of stuff. But yep, I think it's break time. I'm gonna grab some water, sit down, take a little break, and catch up with you guys later. See ya. Alright, so I know it wasn't exactly the greatest video, and I probably had to piecemeal a lot of that stuff together in order to get something viable for you guys. But like I said, it was a really good week. I'm stoked that the shower base is set. I'm even more excited that the J-Track is up. That was sort of a pain in the butt, and it wasn't the nicest couple days out when I installed that. But it's up now, so I have the perforated soffit and the solid soffit material that I just need to cut down and start getting that stuff installed, which will be probably coming up in the next day or two. But the other great thing that happened over the last couple days was the roof got installed. And you know, it was kind of touch and go there for a little while because the weather's been a little bit iffy, but it was just an amazing process, and I am very excited to have the roof finally on. So stick around, because that video will be coming right after this video. So thanks for checking out the ShabinLife. If this is your first time stopping by, feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great day, and we will catch you on the next metal roof installation video. Peace.